How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at the OPPO Reno10 5G, and this is powered by Mediatek processor in there, but we'll go through that further down the line. This is the silver grey edition, so it looks really nice. But before we get deeper into the phone, I've already taken it out of the box, but we'll still talk about everything else that you do actually get when you get one of these in a box. So in the box, you get your safety guide and quick start guide information. So give that a read and keep it safe in case you need to use it in the future. You also get a SIM ejector tool. And there's also a 67 watt SuperVOOC charging brick. This will give you a full charge in 47 minutes. And if you give it 30 minutes charge, that will add additional 70% to your charge. So that is pretty fast. And you also get a USB-A to USB-C cable. That's obviously for your charging and also data transfer. And finally, the phone itself. So this is the OPPO Reno10 Reno10 5G, and you can see that you have a triple camera setup on the back, big camera array there. Top half is finished in this nice aluminium finish, and the bottom half is glass finishing to cover the camera lenses on the back there. It's got this nice silvery great finishing, and it kind of shimmers on the light as well, which looks pretty cool. And then on the side we have our volume rocker and power button there on the right side. It's got a 3D curved glass, edges sort of design. So the top half is curved and the bottom half both curved on the edges, which is really nice and comfortable in hand to hold when using it. On the bottom we have a USB-C port, and this has a dual stereo speaker. We have a memory card slot there, as also a micro SD card slot, and your SIM card tray, which goes right in the bottom there. Up top, we have nothing but the infrared camera and also microphone and so on. And on the left side, there's nothing there at all to write home about. There's nothing on the left side on there. On the front, we have a 32 megapixel front-facing camera, and that is f2.4. It's kind of wide as well, so you will get as many people in there as possible. So if you go on front-facing camera, you can see there, it kind of gets a lot of people, a lot in that same shot there, which is cool. Elsewhere, we have this nice display here. So this is 394 ppi, 6.7 inch AMOLED 3D curved display. And this is actually plated in something OPPO called the AGC Dragon Tail, Star 2 cover glass, whatever that means. But they say this will provide 20% more coverage compared to Corning Gorilla Glass equivalent to what this would be. So the Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Elsewhere, this is 2412 by 1080p in terms of the resolution, and this will give you 93% screen to body ratio. So you get a lot of screen real estate, slim, very, very slim and thin bezel there, and 10-bit color depth. More on the camera on the back, we have a 64 megapixel main camera, which is f1.7 aperture. We have a 32 megapixel telephoto portrait camera with IMX709 sensor at f2.0. This will give you 2 times optical zoom and 20 times digital zoom. And we have a 112 degrees 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera at f2.2. Straight into the device itself, there's lots of bloatware. So you get all these games or whatever they are that's preloaded on the phone, for example, which is kind of annoying for me. I don't like preloaded stuff like that. I like to keep it clean. This is running on ColorOS 13.1, which is basically based on Android operating system, just with their own skin. We drag down and we see the quick menu there. We see what it looks like. We can crank the brightness all the way up or just keep it medium or all the way down, and this looks really bright. This is slated to give you around 950 nits of peak brightness HDR. Going into the settings to see what we have in display and brightness settings. So we can go dark mode or light mode, for example. Eye comfort's there as well. And you have screen color mode, so you can go vivid or natural. I tend to just go vivid or natural when I'm trying to edit photos to make them as natural as possible. You have video color boost as well, so when you're watching videos, you can switch that on. So this will support certain applications. For example, I think this supports YouTube. I'm not completely sure, but yes, these are just some of the applications that are supported by switching that on. And then we go further down, we look at our refresh rate. So the refresh rate will give you auto select, or you can go high at 120 hertz refresh rate, or standard at 60 hertz refresh rate. So 60 hertz, we obviously conserve battery life, but 120 hertz will be better for gaming and just generally just scrolling, as you can see on the demo there. In terms of security, you have fingerprint sensor, which is on screen, works really well. So like so, let's tap that. Very quick, works really nicely. And you have face unlock as well, and obviously you can use the good old way, just use a password or your PIN or pattern. For battery, you're looking at 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but as you know, you get that fast 67 watts SuperVOOC charger, so you can charge this up very quickly when you need to do so. For storage, RAM and processing power, we have a Mediatek Dimensity 7050. It's 5,000 milliamp hour in there, typical. You have 8 gigabytes of RAM, but you can also boost that using internal storage. So you can add an extra 4 gigabytes of RAM onto this. This is the 256 gigabytes of internal storage, but you can also expand it as well, and it tells you the camera specifications on there, and it's running on Android 13 with ColorOS 13.1 baked on top of it. Going into the camera interface, we have some menu to go through as well. So on the photo, you can see ultra wide, 1 times, 2 times, and 5 times as well. Or you can go all the way to 20 times the digital zoom, where things start to get fuzzy over there. We have video mode as well, which you can shoot up to 4K. So you got 4K there. And you can also have your stabilization on. You can shoot 4K on all the camera lenses, which is pretty cool. You also get to your depth of field operation there. So this will allow you to shoot depth of field stuff. So you can blur out the background if you want to do so whilst shooting video. So it gives you that sort of cinematic mode if you want to. Got night mode in there as well on all the lenses. And if you go back to photo, we have portrait mode at up to 2 times telephoto zoom as well, which is pretty good. It means you can get a bit closer and get that depth of field. As you can see there, it's a bit blurry. It blurs out the background a little bit there. If you go to more, we get extra options like pro mode, which can be useful for those who want to get really pro. And back to video, that 4K, you can also go 4K up to 60 frames per second in case you want to slow down just a little bit more after you've shot your video. So overall impression at first glance is this gives you really good display. It's very sharp, looks vibrant. I love the look of it. The battery life is good as well in terms of that big 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You've got supercharger in there as well to charge it up very quickly. 8 gigabytes of RAM that you can boost up as well if you need to do so. And you have 256 gigabytes of internal storage, which you can also expand on this as well. So this is packaged to be a really good device that you can actually use day to day. It's going to last you for a long period of time. And it's running on Mediatek Dimensity processor, which is also pretty good as well. So this is a great package. And let's do some gaming to see how that performs as well. Here we go. So we have Call of Duty loaded on the device, so we can see how this performs. Very fluid, very smooth. There's no lag at all over there, just shooting away, very responsive. All that 120 Hertz refresh is doing a great job at making sure that my eyes can't even have any perception of any slowdown or anything like that. So it just works really well. And so far I've been using it all day today, gaming and so on, and it hasn't been getting hot at all, which is really good. It just gets warm a tiny little bit, but not annoyingly hot or anything like that. So that's a bonus over there in terms of temperature whilst putting this through its pace and using some graphics intensive applications on the phone itself. So that's a good bonus there. So that's everything to do with the OPPO Reno10 5G. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this worth the price tag? I'll leave all pricing in the description area to check out. But is it worth it? Is it a really good device? Is it good looking? Is this something you'd buy? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.